Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, welcome to Be My Guest. Today we have back with us Marjorie Turner Hollman. Marjorie is a writer and editor, author, and she has come up with yet another, Easy Walks in Massachusetts and Beyond. And boy, does she knows her trails in this state. She is an expert at it. We're also going to talk about her memoir, which is called My Liturgy of Easy Walks, Reclaiming Hope in a World Turned Upside Down. No kidding, right, guys? Wow, is that true? Welcome back, Marjorie. We had you on the show before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
That was before 2019?
Probably.
Oh my God.
It's hard to keep track.
It is. That's before the library. He jumped ship and went up the street. It's like, you walk in now, it's like, Jan, where's the library? I'm like, it's 1 minute up the road now. It's huge.
Yeah.
So, Marjorie, let's first talk about the, this is the type of cover that you usually have on your books. It's the beautiful green with usually something like, do you have a waterfall you like to have on your covers? Or
Sometimes, I love water. I use the same basic format, but I'll change up the colors so people can tell the difference between. Yeah, that's actually a pretty little fountain in Norwood, right outside the downtown.
Norwood?
Mm-hmm.
Did the Norwood, just on the side, did Norwood Hospital ever get its act together and open up again?
I think so.
I know both my parents were stuck in there for a while.
Oh, dear.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dear.
That's a whole, the horse of a different color, but that was a while back. But I used to travel, race out there from like Grafton to see them. They were both in at the same time.
Oh, dear.
It's a long haul. So, Marjorie, who was Marilyn and David Doré? They took part in this.
Marilyn and David Doré were people that were contributing some trails that they were traveling on in my Facebook group that's Easy Walks, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Beyond. Yeah. And I just kept seeing that they were going places, and I knew that it was an area where they lived that was contiguous to what I had already written about. And I approached them and said, would you be willing to work with me to put together another Easy Walks guide? And they just took it and walked with it. And they covered over 50 towns in 17 contiguous towns, 53 trails in 17 contiguous towns.
And they had the experience too.
They started walking during the pandemic.
Wow.
And found that they loved it and have just kept going. They go out pretty much every day. Quite remarkable people. They're both retired. Dave is legally blind, so Marilyn walks ahead of him, warns him about any roots or rocks.
Does he walk with a stick?
Sometimes, but he's very sure of foot. He just has very limited vision, so he can see a little bit, but he is legally blind. So they walk as a pair. She even wrote an article about walking while blind, talking about what it takes to...
So she wrote an article?
She wrote for my blog.
For your blog?
Yep.
Has she written a book or anything like that?
No. Well, they did all of the field work, and I put it together.
In the book, here.
Yep.
Who took the photographs?
I took the cover photograph. They took most of the other pictures.
They did most of the...
They did.
Wait till you hear all the... Okay, Easy Walk south of Boston. Now, I lived in Bridgewater, Brockton. God, my parents were in Hingham. They were in Foxborough. Oh, my God. Okay, so Marjorie has covered, let's say, an abundance of towns, and she's even put the map right in here. Brilliant. Okay. Now, Abington is near where my mom grew up. I never even heard of Ames Knoll State Park. Mm-hmm. Is that pretty big?
I haven't visited all of those. The information is in there, but I'm kind of working blind with some of those. I've been able to get out and visit some, but Marilyn and Dave really did the field work. They walked every single trail. They counted every bench. They checked stairs and said, are there railings? What condition are they in? They just did an amazing job. I have a template that they fill out. And so it really was just fill in the blanks and tell me what's there. But they were able to do that. In fact, I've actually just done another book in, of all places, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
You were there?
Nope. My collaborators, another set of collaborators.
Take it around.
Well, Marilyn and Dave did this book.
Yeah.
I met some people in Milwaukee, and Karen and Jen Lemke, did their own urban Milwaukee easy walks and paddles. So
how did you meet them?
Online, networking, but they used the same template that Marilyn and Dave did.
Yeah.
And so they went out and did all the field work and put it together, took all the pictures.
I love what Marilyn does. So important. You know when you go on a trail and you've got the symbols. Where's the John? Where is it? Accessible, handicap, the diagrams. Riding permitted, the person on a horse. They're too tiny for you to see, but no dogs. It's a dog with a slash in the middle. Standard biking, watercraft access. Leash dogs are okay. Mountain biking, swimming beach. Numbered road, that's odd. It's like a straight...
That more has to do with the maps.
Trail...
That shows you what you're looking for on the maps.
Okay.
Because there's a map with each one.
Fishing, that's easy to figure. Generalized property boundaries, what's that?
It means on the trails, because they're not property, I'm not promising you that's exactly where the property is, so they're just kind of little markers saying in general, here's about how big it is.
Yeah.
I don't want to say, here it is, and now I've crossed over onto private property and someone takes offense. So they're vague.
Okay.
And basically just give you a general idea.
So it's like, well, when hunters go out, it'll say no hunting or private property. So it looks like a cloud.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll say generalized property.
That's how I draw it. I drew all of the maps.
You did it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So if a hiker is going along and they see that cloud and it says generalized property boundaries, they steer away.
The maps get you to the trailhead. They are not trail maps. They are maps to the destination. Most of these actually have trail maps that are online that you can download. So I'm basically getting you to the trailhead, telling you what's going to be there, but you need to take a trail map with you if it's a big place. A lot of places are well marked and they're very obvious. So, they're not as necessary. But people don't know where to go.
No.
They don't know where to find things.
No. But you're helping them. We're talking with Marjorie Turner Hollman, and she is a writer, an editor, author. She has written Easy Walks in Massachusetts and Beyond. And we're going to talk about her memoir, My Liturgy of Easy Walks, Reclaiming Hope in a World Turned Upside Down. That's coming too. Okay, so this is Abby. Who drew the heron?
Actually, years ago, a friend of mine did that as a gift to me. That was actually before the Easy Walks. It was just my logo, but obviously there was something in me that knew I wanted to have a heron, a great blue heron, and a friend of mine drew that for me.
All right, so we start off with Abington, then we go to Avon. Now, I lived in Bridgewater. Did I go to any of the trails? Didn't even dawn on me. I was a kid. Was I 20? Maybe late 20s? Didn't even dawn on me. Carver Pond, Great Hill Trail, Stanley Ironworks. I remember hearing about Camp Titicut, Great River Preserve. Then there's East Bridgewater, Sachem Rock. That sounds Indian.
Mm-hmm.
Windsor Woods. Let me ask you, how did you become interested and hear about all this?
Originally, I was a newspaper writer, and it was just an idea for a newspaper column to write about some local trails. My husband and I walked places, and it was basically just another topic for the newspaper. I wrote those monthly for about a year, got a little tired of it, but I took those articles and put them on my my writing website. I do writing for work.
Yeah.
And so I had this sense that there was some value. I put them up in just kind of blog form, and people kept coming to my website. They would say things like, "Where's Joe's Rock?" in the search line. And after about the 500th time somebody had asked that, I said, I think people don't know how to find these places. Maybe I could do that. I already knew how to do books, self-published books, because I was doing personal history work, helping families write their stories and self-publish.
I would be one of those people like, gosh, I heard about this place. How do I go about finding it?
Mm-hmm.
And all I have to do is pick up one of Marjorie, her books. Now, she covers West Bridgewater too. So we're going right through this. Brockton, I never had any idea they had trails, and I've lived there. Canton, look at this. I've heard of, wait a minute, I remember when I drove with my parents. Is it along Route 28, Ponkapoag Trail?
93. 93, I think it may be Route 28 that goes down from 93.
Ponkapoag Trail.
There is an exit right off of 93, but then it's right by the golf course.
Okay.
Ponkapoag Golf Course.
I remember growing up seeing the word Ponkapoag Trail.
Yep.
Dedham. Dad used to say, "You Dedham, we need 'em," or "We need 'em, you Dedham." Hanson, Holbrook, Norton, Norwood, of course, Randolph, Rockland, where my mother grew up. Never heard of the Rockland Rail Trail.
That's
Is that
new.
where people can ride bikes?
Yes, that's new. So it actually starts in Abington, goes through Rockland, and gets to, I'm forgetting what town. It's right on the other side of Rockland.
Yeah, I'm trying to think
Most of it's in Rockland.
Yeah,
Starts with an
Rock-
H, but I can't think of it at
Rockland,
the moment.
Abington. And when did that come to be, the rail trail?
Very recently, and it's still getting developed right now.
Is that like the Cape Cod Rail Trail?
It's paved. It mostly goes through woodland. It's not a spectacular place, but there's lots of people that are within walking distance, so they can use it to get away from the roads.
I bet my mother would have loved that. She was very physical, had a lot of energy. Rockland Town Forest, where did that come from?
I think Marilyn and Dave used All Trails, which is an app, to find a lot of these, and they just went and explored. They did not put everyone in the book. They would go sometimes and say, this is too rough.
Yeah.
Because you may remember, how do you describe an easy walk? It's not too many roots, not too many rocks, relatively level with firm footing and something of interest along the way. Doesn't matter how long it is, but that's the standard for what goes into the book.
Stoughton. Westwood. Whitman. That's not far from Rockland, is it?
Right.
Whitman. There's a town park in Whitman? God, it makes me feel, where have I been? What planet? This book is amazing. Now, not only has she got, like we talked about, symbols. Okay. These are the symbols, but hard to see, I know, from here. But they tell you about what's allowed, where's the restroom, can you have a dog, all these different things, horse riding. And, so let's say, this one says Ames Noel State Park, and there's a map, okay, and it shows you a picture of who took the pictures? Did they?
Those Marilyn and Dave took. Yep.
These two are amazing. I wish I could meet them.
Oh, they're lovely.
Would they love to come on?
They live in Stoughton. I could invite them.
Let's get them on, because look what they've contributed to this.
Oh, yeah.
And then, okay, so they've got a great picture of the map. That must be the entrance to the.
I haven't been to that location yet.
Yeah.
I'm still working on getting over to see all of
It
these.
says it's got a large pavilion located in the woods heading north On the wide trail, okay. Trail map. They also give you an online thing to reach. Easy map. Bathrooms, yes, at the end of parking lot. It better be. Cost is free. Are most of them free?
Most, yeah. If there's a cost, I stress that it should be under $10, and like state parks will charge for parking or
Yeah.
for a yearly pass. Places like zoos that charge $12 to $20 per person, they have their own way
Yeah.
of publicizing. I don't feel like that's something that fits into what I'm trying to do.
But if there's a fee,
It's
how do
typically a
people know
parking
before they
fee.
get there?
Well, that's why I put that in.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Now, distance, 3+ miles. Is that about an average of a trail? Sounds about right to me. How much longer I'd last.
Typically, they're about that,
Yeah.
and then we try to say whether it's a loop trail or an out and back, because people's stamina vary
Yeah.
remarkably. So we try to give them sort of a ballpark. Here's what you can expect, but if it's an out and back, you might need to turn back sooner.
And here's a Ponkapog Trail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gorgeous pond views. Fisherman's Beach. That's cool. It has a YMCA camp. Is that typical of some trails?
There are camps in places. This one goes all the way around the pond. It actually is almost like a carriage road,
Really?
and you can see Blue Hill from the trail.
I went to camp, oh God, years ago in Brimfield. I think it was a YMCA camp. Is that part of trails up there in Brimfield?
I have been to
Way up on a
Brimfield,
mountain.
and there are some rail trails. The Grand Trunk Trail goes through Brimfield.
Okay, well, this one, what? Bathrooms, no. When do you
Most-
go in the woods?
Most places there aren't.
Well, okay, I'm good with not going in. I don't have to have a bathroom. You gotta go, you gotta go.
If that's what you need, then you might need to choose a place that does. We try to give people the information so they
Sure.
can make their own choices.
I'm not shy. In fact, if you're driving along a highway, right, and there's no bathroom, I'm not one of those people that says, well, we'll drive another half hour to get there. I'm like, pull over. Like, I'll run into the woods. No, I am not shy at all. You gotta go, you gotta go. Fishing is allowed, okay, from boats at a fisherman's beach. Marilyn, how can people reach you if they would like to speak with you, contact you?
Oh, this is Marjorie. Marilyn's the one
Oh,
that...
that's, I keep, yes.
Marjorie Turner Hollman, that's Marjorie, marjorieturner.com. There's all sorts of ways to reach me at that website.
Would you, do you ever come and give presentations?
I do.
Are there places that you are willing to go? But I know you've been at the, you mentioned the Milford Senior Center.
Right.
Where else have you been?
I also went to Canton, and that was specifically because of this book. So I went to the Canton Senior Center. I've been to libraries. I do online presentations. I did a lunch bag series in Providence recently. Libraries,
Yeah.
lots of places.
Yeah.
I didn't do a lot other than online virtual presentations.
You like that? You prefer it that way?
It's easier, and during the pandemic, yes,
Yeah, the
it was
pandemic, but
really...
Have you noticed all the indie bookstores that have popped up? Independent bookstores. Oh my God, they're everywhere.
Really?
Have you been up to Webster at the Book Lovers Gourmet?
Oh, yes, I've
you know
had my
Deb
books.
Warren there.
I do.
Hello,
love Deb.
shout out to Deb. She's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Canton, the Mildred Morse Allen Sanctuary and Museum of American Bird Art.
It's
have
lovely.
you been up there?
Yes, I have.
And you gave a presentation?
No. I just went and walked.
You walked.
I just walked there. There's also a Paul Revere
In Canton?
in Canton. There's a Paul Revere Park with walkways right along the Neponset River.
You're kidding.
No, I had no idea. Marilyn and Dave sent that to me, and
See if I can find that. Yeah, the Paul Revere Heritage Site in Canton. You can have a dog, and it is handicapped accessible. Your wheelchair.
lots of
And there's
benches.
a nice bridge. Now let's see. It doesn't say how long. It says it's a small park.
It has loops, so it would be hard. It's basically like a large town park.
Okay.
And it has benches. It's got historical interpretive signs. There's actually a building that I believe Paul Revere owned right there. You've got the Neponset River that goes right through there. It's a lovely spot.
9 acres.
It's
Okay.
not huge, but
How many miles you got to go for 9 acres?
you'd want to walk around it a number of times.
But it says it's fully handicapped.
It
you can
is.
do
It's
your
all
look.
paved and with curb cuts. Yes.
Okay, no bathrooms, guys. Okay, be prepared. Okay, cost, no cost. Parking's free. Interpretive signs are posted. Interpretive, does that mean like for the blind?
No, these are plaques that give you historical information
Okay.
right along the walkway. No, they weren't specifically aimed for visually impaired. They're historical interpretation.
Do you find that many of the hike trails have the visually impaired?
For Audubon Society, Mass Audubon has created at least 9 of their sanctuaries have a braille and guide ropes.
That's cool. That is, I think that's so necessary. I really do. All right, so we've gone through Hanson, Holbrook. All right, we'll put this on hold for a minute. Gorgeous book. Easy Walk, south of Boston. Hang on. Abington, Avon, Bridgewater, East and West Bridgewater, Canton, Dedham, Hanson, Holbrook, Norton, Norwood, Randolph, Rockland, Stoughton, Westwood, Whitman. So if you're interested in some trails, do you ever watch Northwood's Law?
I don't know.
Up in New Hampshire, it's on television. It's the game wardens, Fish and Game.
Oh, okay.
They rescue a lot of people up on the White Mountain area. I'm fascinated by that. Boy, they go up. I mean, they have to carry those, the gurneys. I don't know where the guys get the strength, but really. Now, we're going to talk about her memoir, My Liturgy of Easy Walks. Reclaiming Hope in a World Turned Upside Down. Now, how appropriate is this right now? Oh my gosh. This you designed yourself?
I took the picture. I gave that picture to my book designer. She took out the telephone pole. She took out the yellow stripe and made it just beautiful.
When did this come out?
I think it was 2022.
Not long ago.
Not long ago.
When did you write this? I didn't even know you had it.
Everything shut down with the pandemic. I had it. I released it during the pandemic, but there was a lot. I did mostly virtual interviews. I didn't do any in person.
So you stayed home a lot.
I stayed home almost all of what we were doing. Yeah, we would go out and hike.
Yeah.
But even that, the trails were mobbed with people that didn't know what else to do.
Well,
Everything was closed.
We still went out shopping. We wore our masks. We didn't get close to anybody. I was holed up for the month of December, but I can't stand isolation. To me, I have got to see other people. And I was very sick with pneumonia, but we still went out once in a blue moon, maybe to get a grocery or something. Mm-hmm. Even if I felt sick, I had to you've got to get out. You've got to get out. Mask and all, Mm-hmm. And, this is amazing.
There's a little on the back that might tell you a little bit more about
Liturgy
it.
is most commonly known as a written order of worship. It can also describe a way of meeting God. Here, liturgy affirms the widest interpretation of meeting God in daily life. Learn how a ball, a bell, and a bicycle offer paths toward healing. Easy Walks, a phrase the author has become known for, in her books on trails, has brought the author physical healing, spiritual refreshment, and joy. My Liturgy of Easy Walks is a memoir of learning to thrive in the face of life-changing events. That is an absolutely gorgeous picture of Marjorie on the back. I wish you could see it. You will if you go up to the Upton Library. Borrow a copy. Marjorie Turner Hollman is a writer who loves the outdoors, as we know, and has written 4 previous Easy Walks books. When did we first interview you? Was this, how many years ago? She's been on the before.
Oh gosh, probably 2016 was the most.
We were here already.
Updated.
Okay, we'd moved from our temporary place. With limited mobility, she maintains her balance with hiking poles, when on the trail, a freelance writer. She has been published in local, regional, national publications. MarjorieTurner.com. Marjorie, you mentioned the newspaper. Where did you have your column?
In the Bellingham Bulletin. I'm a resident
Are you still
of
doing
Bellingham.
that?
I have basically run out of time. I'm busier doing other things.
Yeah.
So I've put the newspaper writing aside. I help authors get their books into print.
Good.
So I do developmental editing.
By the
and
way,
other.
where do I pick up a copy of the Bellingham Bulletin?
It's online.
But I don't want that. I want the real thing I can hold.
It's online. It's also typically the Bellingham Library Market Basket.
I don't see it there that much.
Yeah. It gets mailed to every home in Bellingham, or you can ask
Them
to get it mailed to you.
Okay. All right. We've got a couple minutes left. The table of contents for introduction: walking, healing, a child shall lead them, not by bread alone, the strength of family and friends. Boy, is that true. Lessons learned, acknowledgments, and final words. What made you decide to do it, to write the book?
It was over 30 years of writing essays when I wasn't able to walk.
But you're walking well now.
I am. My entire right side was totally paralyzed 30 years ago.
What happened?
I had brain surgery to save my life, but it left my right side paralyzed. So I survived and have healed so that my hands work and my leg works, but there's a lot of paralysis still, so I have to be careful. That's why I use hiking poles. It's why I only take easy walks.
So you have every right in the world. You have written, did you write about when it struck, when you had the brain surgery?
It took me a couple years. I wasn't a writer, and it was also very hard to take it in.
Yeah.
And so I just started writing emails to family and just every now and then would talk about how I was feeling, what I was experiencing, the progression of healing.
Sure.
And
In your book, though, did you write about when it started, when you had your surgery?
Some.
This was how many years ago?
Gosh, 1993.
I had major surgery on my neck at UMass in 1993. What hospital were you at?
I was in Boston.
You were in Boston.
Yeah.
Now, ironic that we both the same year.
Mm-hmm.
Serious stuff.
Yep.
Serious stuff. And yet, how many years did it take you to... I would say you're just about fully recovered, watching you.
A lot doesn't show.
You look good to me.
A lot doesn't show.
Okay, so now, before we close, how can they get copies of your book?
They're on Amazon. That's unless I have a presentation and I bring physical copies to presentations. Otherwise, they're on Amazon.
What's your website?
My website again is MarjorieTurner.com. MarjorieTurner, MarjorieTurner.com.
And she's going to be leaving, right? A couple of copies of these books right over here at the brand new, well, we still call it brand new, the Upton Community Center right up the street. We have a dedicated, as we all know, the dedicated local authors section. Go ahead, come up, see it exhibited, take it with you, watch it, read it, enjoy it. And are you going to be appearing somewhere pretty soon?
I just had 3 presentations last week.
Well, keep going.
Yeah.
Don't stop now. Hey, you can always connect with me because I know lots of places that would love to have you.
Thank you.
Come on now.
Thank you.
We can get you out there. Thanks
you.
for being with us. We'll have her back on. Don't worry about it. You know, as the weather gets warmer and warmer, people are going to be, yeah, let's get out there. Let's go take a walk, you know, and I know who to contact. Thanks for being with us, Marjorie. It's good to have you back.
Oh, thank you so much.
I love the new books.
It's a pleasure.
We'll see you next time with Be My Guest.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream. Tomorrow's even closer than it seems.